Record. Welcome to Here for the Horses. Glad you're here for the horses. This week we're going to be um looking at the homework that we had for this week, which was awesome. Okay. And then we're also going to be looking at um, homework that we have coming up. But first of all, how did you guys like, those of you that showed up, and a lot of you did, the Russ Paulson Better Horse Belly Helping Your Equine Gut? How did you guys like that? I love him. I love him. He's so great to talk to, and you can tell that he's wildly passionate about what he does. Yeah. Um I had such a nice conversation with him before we met on that, and I want to tell you a little story because the moment I knew that this guy was real was we were talking, and we have like similar views on just stuff. Like we try to keep it real. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so easy to be like, well, this is how everything should be, and this is how you should do everything. But the reality is we don't live in that world. And so you have to be flexible enough to have different circumstances with all the different horses and be open to being wrong and be open to trying different things and talking things out and stuff like that. So he was so cool to talk to because I could tell that that came through. But what I really liked about him in my conversation with him was he goes, "Have you seen the movie Avatar?" We were talking about our horses, and I go, "Yeah." And I was like, is he going to talk about this?" And he was like, "You know that moment when they like connected the thing, the guy and the animal and I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's what I want with my horse." And I go, "Dude, are you serious?" I thought it was so cool because, and I'm not saying anything about men, but do men normally talk like that? Not normally. They do not bring up a cartoon video about how a fake avatar thing connects with this being and they become one and then they don't normally talk like that. So the fact that he like said that that's what he wants, like that's how he it wants his relationship with his horse to be. I was like, you're in the right place, dude. My people are gonna love you for sure. So he was pretty cool. But I look forward to talking to him some more. With the world of supplements can get so bogged down and overwhelming that it's so hard. And he definitely is not closed-minded, like it needs to be like this, and this. So I love that about him. If you guys did not have a chance to see that, I do have the recording up. So let me give you that link if you want to see it. I think it's running pretty smoothly, so let me know if it isn't. I'm getting better at all this technical stuff, you guys. It's awful, but I'm doing better. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Kristen. So there's the link for it's called a webinar, free webinar. So if you want to, oh yeah, and the discount code is winning your horse's heart 10. So WYHH 10, winning your horse's heart. I got to keep things simple for my own brain or I'm not going to remember it. So, and you guys can use that until June. So if you want to try it, use it. Um, yep, thank you. Um, and maybe I'm pretty sure I can convince him to keep that code in place if we buy from him or whatever, if it's something you want to do. And it was funny because I was riding Georgia. I don't have a lot of time for extra stories here today, but I was riding Georgia a couple days ago, and man, she was hot, hot. And I'm hoping it was just the spring weather and she was feeling good or whatever. But I was like, if I have to ride her like this in the rodeo, we are going to become the rodeo. So he had mentioned that there's a calming supplement, and so I might talk to him about that to get that just for the rodeo. I've never had to do that with her because she does get into her game face mode. This one right here, all about business. But I would like her to like kind of enjoy it, like kind of feel good about it. So. I might talk to him about that, but he also does chicken and pig and cow stuff. So if you guys have a big farm, check out his website, and it's Animal Health Solutions Incorporated. Animal Health Solutions Incorporated. But that's all on the thing too if you need it. So he's cool. Yeah, so thanks for coming to that. That was really awesome. Let's talk about homework for this week first because I want to just get through as many videos as I can. So I'm going to try to keep my nonstop blathering to a minimum. Okay, so let's take a look at what our homework is for this week. I'm going to share my screen. Um, Boom. Here it is. There. Can you guys see that? Okay. It is going to be the rib rub. No, sorry. Oops. Somebody in here. Spine rub. Spine rub. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little something. Don't rub the spine. It's on the side of the spine. Okay. So on the side of the spine. Rib rake. Point of hip release. Point of hip release. I was seeing if I could get these put together, and this is, as good as I could have done. I probably should have done, if I was thinking ahead of time, I should have done the spine rub, rib rake, and belly rub all together, and then done the glutes and the point of hip and the tail dock. But I didn't think ahead enough. So if you want to, I personally would throw in a belly rub here at the end of that rib rake because it all fits together. So it'd be the whole trunk of your horse. Okay, but we already did the belly rub. Feel free to check it again, but just do it for 10 seconds. Okay. So let's talk about, let me write these down before I forget them. Spine rub, rib rake. I'm going to probably change the name of that too, because it's not just the rib rake. And then point of hip release. Okay. So spine rub is not rubbing the spine. In massage school, they tell you do not cross over the spine. So here's one of those things that I don't subscribe to. Okay. So I like school. I think it's a great foundation. I think that you need to have a school-based understanding, okay? But as you get out into the field, and that's why my podcast is called Tales from the Field, you had better work on the horse in front of you, not the horse that's in the textbook, okay? And I think that kind of goes for everything with horses, right? So I don't subscribe to that whole notion about not rubbing over the spine, but I know that it is in place so that you don't increase irritation or cause any sort of discomfort. But, I kind of think to myself, what are you doing that would cause discomfort to rub over the spine? And then I was talking to another massage therapist for humans, and they said they did talk about you don't want to increase inflammation if there is inflammation there. So we don't want to do that at all anyways. So, okay. But the spine rub is just next to, so there's the spine, and then there's muscles that lay down next to it. Okay. And those are the muscles that we want to rub. And your hand is going to be in a nice plane, and you're just going to rub along the side of the spine about an inch away from the spine. Okay. And you're just kind of feeling for lumps, bumps, tight areas, dead areas, any sort of negative reaction from the horse. Obviously, we're already looking for that anyways. Okay. And we want to make sure that we're paying a lot of attention to that. Paying a lot of attention to what the horse is saying and what are your hands telling you about the situation. Dead areas. Yeah, I say that a lot because what happens is as your hand is going over something, it just goes, ugh. It just deadens out into like a nothing, like it doesn't move, it doesn't flow, it doesn't feel alive. The skin doesn't move, the hair feels kind of dead. It's just a flat, dead area. And your hand will tell you that you hit it before your eyes. It sucks you into an abyss of blah. Okay, so if you have anything that your hand goes, that's not a nice feel. I normally find that in front of the flank, above the ribs. Okay. But you can find it anywhere in the body too. The skin a lot of times is stuck there. So anything like that. And obviously we're always feeling for temperature changes, flinches, stuff like that. And I forget to keep mentioning this because every once in a while people will say to me, what do you think about using a curry comb? Or what about having gloves on? Or what about using, one of the next fanciest little gadgets that have come out that everybody's on fire for about 3 months? And it's like, I don't have a problem with anything, but there is nothing better than your hands. There isn't. And any sort of stray away from you using your hands, even if it just means putting gloves on, you are taking away senses that your body has available to you to help the horse. Okay. Now, in different situations, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. So I'm not being like, I can't believe you wear gloves. Well, it's minus 10 degrees. I'm like, oh, okay, I got you. Or I can't believe you use a massage gun. Well, my wrists don't have the strength and I can't do it for more than 10 minutes. So I use a massage gun first and then I use excellent, fantastic. Okay. So I don't have problems with devices or whatever, anything that can help you, or you want to put, a beamer blanket on, or you want to do whatever. Awesome. But your hands are the best thing and they will never be replaced. They'll never be replaced. Massage therapists will never be replaced by machine. It's not gonna, look, you guys, look what I have sitting in my corner. Do you guys know what that is? Well, it's a mirror, but that is a massage chair. I have a massage chair. Okay. Do you want to know what? I still go get massaged. Why? Because it's better. It's always better. Okay. There is nothing that is going to replace a good massage. No fancy massage chair. Okay. Yeah, I wanted one too. You can come over and use it, Jenny. You're that close. So anyways, again, I said I don't have time for stories, and look what just happened. Okay, so spine rub, there you go. It's easy, go ahead and do it. Rib rake, let's talk about the rib. This is the most important one. Okay, if your ribs are tight, this is how I know. Your horse doesn't take a full breath. If they have shallow breathing all the time, it's a problem. Okay. 2, your horse is at weight, but you can see the ribs. And there's a couple horses going through the journey right now that are like that. And I think I probably mentioned it. So if you can see the ribs while they're at a standstill, but the horse is at weight, it's probably tight intercostals. Okay. So those are 2 ways that I know. And then there's going to be a third way that you know after you do work. I'm sure there's other ways too. I'm sure there's other ways. So that's kind of the 2 that I go off of. And generally I can walk into a massage, look at a horse, tell that it's a beautiful weight, looks nice, muscular, nice top line, da 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 da. And I can see the ribs and I go, oh, I'm gonna get a before and after picture. Because I know I'm gonna get results, because I'm gonna release the intercostals and I'm gonna get some great results with that horse. So I always do before and after. So if you can see your horse's ribs, even if you can't, take some photos, and sometimes there's that line that kind of goes from the flank, like midway in the ribs and then kind of shoots downward. That's the aponeurosis. I have to be careful saying that. Then you can loosen that up too. So take some before and after pictures if it doesn't look fluffy like a pillow. Okay. So I do my rib sequence, and I just made that up right now, rib sequence, in order because I do not want to do the most, what's the word I use? It's not aggressive. Intense. I do not do the most intense move first. because if your horse's ribs are tight, it'll be too much. And we have a couple other things like that. There's sequences for a reason, like with the crest stuff, right? Okay. So the softest, nicest thing that we're gonna do for the ribs, first we're gonna do some big circles. Big circles, warm it up. Big circles, warm it up. Flat, soft, warm hand. Big circles, warm it up. Pay attention to what your horse is saying. What do you feel? Where does it feel nice? Where does it feel tight? And I know a lot of you guys are so good at this already. Your hand gets drawn to areas. And the funniest thing is when I'm watching a video and I go, ooh, I feel like it's right there. And then like 3 seconds later, you guys go right to that spot and start rubbing it. I love that so much because you guys know based off what you're feeling. Okay, so trust it. So big circles, warm it up. Okay, so the rib sequence is going to be with the ribs first. So start at the top, get your rib rake out. This is your rake. Okay. Ribs fit in between my fingers. That's about how far apart they are. I have big hands. So sometimes you'll have to do it individually or maybe just two at a time, depending. I can do all four. Okay. So with the ribs, start at the top, so up by kind of by the wither, go down to the rib shelf, so about 5 inches down from the spine, find the rib shelf, rake down and with the ribs. So with the hair, just like you're brushing the rib cage. That's step one. With the ribs all the way back. Okay? So with the ribs. Now, what I feel when I'm doing that is what does that feel like? But what's interesting is you'll be going down the ribs and then one finger will pop over into a different rib as you're going down. So that tells you one of those intercostals in that like line of rib is tight. So you got to work that out. Okay? So you should be able to rake down each rib. So you'll kind of get an idea of where they're tight in their ribs based on doing that move. Okay. And then here's another cool thing. Your finger should fit in between their ribs. So if you're going down the rib and then all of a sudden those ribs get tight and your finger can't fit in between them, that's a really tight intercostal. And you'll feel that. Or if there's a line across where you're going down the ribs and then all of a sudden it hits a line and kicks you out, that's a really tight intercostal. And you got to work those out. Okay, so you kind of have to go down to some detail work with just your finger. Just kind of work it out, start nice and soft. Okay, so that's where you're going to get a lot of your information is going with the ribs. Can you trace all the ribs down? Now, even with your little chunky horses, you should be able to. Okay, no problem. You should be able to feel their ribs. If you can't feel their ribs, they are overweight. Okay, so you got to take care of them. Spring's coming. We got to watch out. I have to watch out because George is a beast right now and all the grass is green all of a sudden. So she's unfortunately going to get locked in. Intercostal. Right on. Teach her young, Jenny. Okay. So, that's step one. Step two is going to be from the front to the back. Front to the back. So you have ribs like this. We're going to go front to back. Front to back. And you're going to kind of loop those ribs and move them that way. Okay? Straight across the grid. I'm going to explain why in a second. Step three, back to front. Back to front. From the flank to the shoulder. Flank to the scapula. Flank to the wither. Okay? So I'm going to read to you why that is. why I choose to do it that way. How many intercostals are there? How many types of intercostals? Who knows? How many pairs of intercostals? Good choice. So I know what you're trying to say. I think I might have worded this wrong. You're close. Yeah, I did word it wrong. Two types. Thank you. Yeah. Internal and external. Thank you. Yep. Internal and external. I said that wrong or weird. Sorry. There's internal and external intercostals. Okay. So let me read to you about them. Let's talk about the internal. So obviously the internal are our on the inside. Okay. So the origin, remember we've talked about origin. The origin normally attached to the most. So here's a great example of where it's not really attached to the strongest position, right? So normally we talk about the origin being attached to the strongest part of the skeleton, right? I call it the base, and then everything else kind of moves from the base. You know, it makes the rest of the body move from the base. This is a great example where that's not true. Okay. But let's talk about intercostals. So the origin is the anterior border of one rib, and the insertion is the posterior border of the preceding rib. Okay, so the front of the rib attaches to the back of the rib in front. Okay, this is where this gets cool. What is the action? It rotates the ribs backwards and assists in expiration. So you might think that that would be inhalation, but it's expiration. The ribs rotating backwards assists with expiration. So now let's talk about the external intercostals. The origin is the posterior, the back border of the rib, and the insertion is the anterior border of the next succeeding rib. So it attaches from the back of the rib in front to the front of the next rib. Now, the way I like to do a diagram of this is I go one section goes this way, the other section goes this way. One of them brings the rib cage in for exhalation, and one of them brings the rib cage out for inhalation. Okay. So what's cool about horses is that, and so rotates ribs forward, assisting in inspiration. So that's a fun fact. Okay. When ribs go forward, that is inspiration. When ribs go back, that's expiration. Well, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Okay. So just think about there's ribs going this way, or there's muscles going this way attaching to the ribs, and there's muscles going this way attaching to the ribs. And one of them does this, the other one does that. Okay. So that's why we're doing it. You do the forward and you do the back because you're going to loosen one of them up by doing that. Okay. And then the last one, which is the most intense, which is one I wouldn't start with, is you start from the bottom and go up. So you're going against the hair. And you're going from the bottom of the belly up toward the wither. Okay. So just pretty much every direction. Top to bottom with the ribs, front to back with the hair, back to front against the hair, bottom to top against the hair. If that makes sense. Okay. And then what do I like to finish this off with? If they haven't been tortured enough, what do we have? Yeah. We got to slap them. Okay. So we got to slap the rib cage. And I'll tell you what, that's what does it. All the rest is really just warming it up. and identifying areas that are tight. The slapping and percussion is what does it almost every time. So tell me if you know what is a release that is very common once you have loosened the ribs. What is the release? Coughing. Yeah, blowout. I count that also. Yes, the cough. Okay. Yep, blowout. Anything to do with breathing, right? Because I don't know, listen, this is what I compare it to, and this is what I do at clinics, which I love. Whenever I do a 2-day clinic, when I get to the ribs, I go, first off, we have a 4-part series. Whoever's horse coughs or blows out first wins. And it's fun. It's fun. And generally, I do videos where when I start percussion with everyone, I videotape it and I can get on video the first horse that coughs or the first horse that blows out. Okay. So that's kind of what I look for. And what I compare it to is anytime, if you guys ever get to like laughing so hard that you start coughing, that's what I compare it to. Because when you laugh too hard and then you take that really big breath in and your lungs go, whoa, you haven't breathed that deep in a while. And then all of a sudden you start coughing. That's when you know you've just taken a breath that you haven't taken in a while. So yeah, Kristen, get it, girl, get it. She's doing it. She's doing it. All right. She's coughing. Uh, will they cough only if they're tight? That's a good question. Yes, Terry, the replay will be on YouTube as always. Winning your horse's heart. No. I'm gonna say no. Sometimes you kind of loosen up stuff. You're welcome. Sometimes you just loosen stuff up. Sometimes they just need, it's just a reaction to kind of the slapping on the ribs. Yeah, so I wouldn't say always. I try not to ever say always. Okay. It'll be interesting. Yeah. Another thing I want you guys to think about, and this is those of you that go out to shows, and you'll probably start noticing this. In the warm-up pen, you're going around, everybody's nervous, and your horse is a little hot. And then all of a sudden, about 7 minutes into either your ride or whoever else's ride, one horse starts coughing like they got COVID. Okay. One horse starts, everybody goes, oh, who brought the sick horse? Well, that horse just took a really deep breath and finally relaxed in the warm-up pen. Took a deep breath, started coughing. So pay attention to that when you're out. Pay attention to your own horse. George is almost like 7 minutes on the dot. Okay. And you'll start seeing that. It's pretty cool when you start seeing it, right? A lot of people they don't clue into why, or they think, oh, the arena's dusty. No, it's they're releasing. I mean, unless the arena's really dusty, right? What you got, Stephanie?
So what's interesting when we start running our fast circles in a reining pattern, I always laugh when the horse gets hooked in, and I like when I'm watching my daughter ride, and when I'm riding, I say they got their purr motor on because when they're really running, it's
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, that's
so
cool.
it's kind of like they're using their muscles effectively is what I have thought. It's like they're locked in, they know their breathing's in timing, they're in a rhythm, but it's just
That
really
is a
cool.
very rhythmic sound. I haven't thought of that at all.
I do think about that and let me know what you think, but it just feels like it's the horse is very much in tune. And I know when I hit that stride, Magnum and I are locked in on that circle and it's good.
Cool. I have a sound that I make when I run too. It's just not a good one. Muscle respiration Channon or chain? Chain. Okay, good. Yeah, Jennifer, Smarty Pants there has a name for it. That's cool. Let's look that up. That'll be our homework. Let's look that
So
up.
it
And
really is
and
a thing. I'm not
it
just being
really
weird.
Yeah, it really is a thing. But
That's
I
cool.
can't remember specifically what they call it, but it is the respiration chain. And you'll hear it a lot when the
Oh,
horse starts at the canter, that their breath is being dictated by the locomotion. And I
the
learned it in
movement.
massage school, and I can't remember specifically what they call it, but there is a thing.
All
Yeah,
right, cool.
you're
We'll
on
look it
it.
up this week. That'll be our homework. That's bonus if anyone wants brownie points. I don't know where brownie points get you, but someone will want them. Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Um, so that's your rib rake. Okay, that's your rib work that I want you to do, and I think you guys are really gonna like it because it's really fascinating. It's very fascinating. Okay. Let's see. Last thing, point of hip. Okay, this is a fascia release. I think I saw one horse this week that needed it. It was a dark, like liver, chestnutty, dark horse. Was it Johnny Cash? I don't know. It was somebody. So, point of hip. Where's my where's my stuff? Okay, so you know the points that stick out on the hip. What I want you to do, the point of hip is about this big. Okay? It's about that big. Yeah. What I want you to do is make a triangle around the point of hip and just hold your hands there. Because fascia is influenced by heat and pressure. So warmth and pressure. So all we're going to do is we're going to apply some warmth to start with. Ooh, I do not know about any acupuncture points there, but they might be. I don't know of any. That's your homework. Everybody's getting homework today. Okay, so triangle around the point of hip. Hold it. This is another one of those, like when I ask you to just put your hand on the pole and discuss your grocery list in your own head. You can zone out on this one because it's a patience thing to do. Okay. You have to warm the fascia up. What's going to happen if your horse is tight there is your hands go from here and then they sink in. You'll feel it like melting under you. And it's not a big, it's small movement, but it'll melt into that. And then that area is going to be looser. Before you do it, you can do some nice circles around the point of hip, kind of see what it feels like. You'll feel tight areas going off in different directions. Okay, so you can kind of manipulate your hands around that to see if you can get it to release. But be very patient with this one. You do not need to put this one on the recording because I can't tell. It'll be you that can tell. Okay. It'll be you that can tell. I won't be able to. Or if you want, include it at the end and then I can just stop watching. Okay. Just keep the flow. But this is a fun one. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And you'd be surprised how much they like it. Not in a this is the best massage I've ever had, but they get very calm and relaxed when you do it. It's a nice one. You can focus on your breathing if you want to, do a little additional breathing along with it. See if you can get them to take bigger breaths. That's kind of fun when I'm doing more quiet work like this. Focus on your breathing. See what happens. You'll be doing this one after you do the ribs, so maybe you'll get a big release from the ribs after that. Okay. So that's easy peasy. Any questions on the homework this week? Okay. It'll be good. All right. What I want to do now is I just want to go through. I think what I'm going to start doing is if I want to talk about something or bring something up, I'm going to put it in the when I put the videos up, I put your name, your horse's name, what we're doing. And then under that, I'm going to put like what stood out to me if I want to talk about that video. And that way I won't need to be like scrambling before this and writing stuff down. Because there's a lot more videos now than there used to be. So I'm going to do that. So let's go through that because there was so many cool things and we'll just keep going until the end of time because it was awesome. All the cool stuff happening. All right. So let me share here. Let's make sure there's nothing else going on here. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Put that away. So let's take a look. This is the top, I believe. Yeah, so there's your homework. I'll pin that to the top now. Pinned to featured. There you go. Okay. Oh yeah, Spanish walk. That was cute. Leanne, I don't recognize your horses anymore. Okay. Um, this was really exciting. And Susan had a breakthrough with her horse, Sam. He gave a whole bunch of yawns. Okay. So that was really exciting. Oh yeah. Oh, here's a side note. Horses with feathers, and I don't know why this is true. And I feel like it's not trained. It's just something in them. That horses with feathers, or a lot of like feet hair, they prefer their feet picked up by using the feathers. And I think that's very strange. But I've found that I work on Frisians a fair amount, and so I'll ask them the way that I normally ask them on the chestnut, and they don't really respond as well there, but then when I go down to the feathers and just gently pick them up that way, that's how they like it. And I don't think that they've been trained that way, but they like that. Wanda, have you run into that at all? Do you have any horse with the feathers out there? No, not a lot. Yeah. It's interesting. So that's what Susan ended up doing. But here's a great example with Susan here, how you'd better have that form down. Because this horse, he's big, but he's not just big. He was tight. Okay. So they can be as big as they want. If they're loose, it doesn't matter. But when they're tight, it matters. Okay. So you guys see how good her form is here? That's really important. Okay, so she did a great job with that. Okay. Let's see here. Maple and the pork chop. Okay, so there is something that some horses will do, and I think it's funny kind of when they do it, and I call them out on it. I call it the peg leg. Okay. And it's when they just kind of straighten their leg and they make it a little peg leg. And it's just kind of a little protest that they do sometimes. He's about to do it here in a second, I think. Um, it doesn't bother me. See, he's peg legging right there. Did you guys see that? And then watch, I think he does it again. But I'll stand up and I'll go like, don't peg leg me. Right there, he peg legged. Do you guys see it? It's like right there. Do you guys see that? How it's like kind of tight still? Okay, so just be aware that might be something that happens. And you can just laugh and then rub their legs and do what she did. So there you go. Okay, so that's a peg leg. That was fun. Oh, Huck, this one was cool. This was super interesting. Did I have another one of this or just this one? Okay, I think this was it. This was a great example of how it is all one system. Okay. So Huck is quite tight. And we're giving him another 30 years after this. So he's gonna live forever, I think. But did you guys see what happened there? When she picks his leg up, the higher she goes, the more the lower leg gets rounded. Okay? Because that shows you there, and you see how tight that is? That shows you that the flexors are very tight. And so the higher she goes with that leg, the tighter those flexors go. So it reminds me of like a pulley system. Okay. And with him, with that lower foot curling like that, you have to go all the way into those heel bulbs and just stick your finger in there and tell that insertion point to relax. Okay. You gotta remind it that it's not supposed to be that tight. Okay. I told Jennifer there is another way that you can do it. You have to warm them up, but you see, watch, that's better. It's a little better, but you see how tight that is? Okay. And that just goes all the way up to the tricep. It's a little pulley system. This was a great session she had with him. There, that's beautiful. Um, there, that's beautiful. So the other way that I loosen that up, and I don't recommend it for new people, okay, is one, I do all of this work, okay, get it as loose as possible. And then the next thing I will do is I will put my fingers under the toe of the leg, ask the leg to come up and support the knee. And then that really stretches that out. So what they want to do is this, and then I take them with the toe and I go, now we're going to do this. But you have to be careful to only take it to the level that they can take it to. Jennifer has that feel she can do it. Okay, so you'd start really low, and if they need their foot back, you give it to them. So that's how I kind of do that. But you have to make sure you warm up all those insertion points all the way up the leg. So you got to start at the heel bulbs. Look at them. Go up the leg, get all those flexors relaxed, make sure everything around the knee is relaxed. So the knee scratch in the back, okay? Make sure that you get everything functioning, okay? So think of it like a pulley. You don't want any of the pulleys rusty. They all have to move. And then you have to work on the rope going through the pulleys. Okay, and then you can ask the pulley system to work properly and kind of stretch it. You start messing around with a pulley system and you don't put some WD-40 on the pulleys themselves and you start pulling on some stuff, you're gonna have a lot of issues. Okay, and that's fine if it's a rope and an actual pulley, but this is a horse. So we got to be careful with that one. Okay, that was a fun video to watch though. You guys want to, if you want more clarification on what I'm talking about, watch this video. Okay. This one was super fascinating. Okay. Similar idea, pulley system. Okay, so hold on. Boop. Let me make this bigger. Let me take that off. Okay. So with this horse, please, only one of me at a time, please. Okay, so everybody look at this. I'm going to call it a Z shape. Okay, Z shape. Shoulder joint here. Elbow joint here. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Now she does a move that I really like doing, and I think I told someone about it. It might have been Wanda or someone else with a bigger horse. Sometimes I'll bring their leg up like this, and then I put their knee into it's my pelvis where I stand, but her stomach, okay? And it's 2 or 3 inches. I'll move the leg like this back and forth, and I want the whole system to move. Okay. So like here, I want it to go like this, the whole system. Okay. I don't want the body. Oh, this is a point of hip here. That's a point of hip. I want to, yeah, Alexandra, we're going to loosen that up this week. Okay. Um, so watch what happens with her horse's body when she does that move. You guys see that? That did not move. It started to, and then she locked it up. And her whole body went, so instead of this, her body went, because she locked it up. So let's watch it again so you can see what I'm saying. Look at all that movement in the hind end. That shouldn't be moving because yeah, look at me doing me again. That system there is locked up and isn't moving the way it should. Okay. So I personally would work elbow, shoulder joint, and then, figure out how to get that loosened up. Okay. There. And then look here. Whoops. When she goes down, boom. Can you guys see all those muscles tight there? And it actually like sinks in. Do you guys see that? How this looks kind of fluffy, this looks kind of fluffy, and then this looks like a drum, like it's real tight. Okay. So this scapula into tricep and lower leg is very tight. Now, let's go to the other side here and check it out. You can't quite see. It had a nice reflection on the other side, which made it a lot easier to see. But watch. Well, first of all, let's take it. She doesn't do the forward and back on this side, I don't think. Um, but you'll see here in a second. And then also, do you guys notice that the point of hip on this side doesn't look as tight? She's like, I don't want to. There you go. Did you guys see the movement in that leg is so much better coming forward? Like she kind of rocked back a little bit and that shoulder stayed where it was at. So look at how much looser this side is. She can rock her body in that shoulder. There you go. Okay. Do you guys see how it just doesn't look as tight and that went straight down with no problems? Look there's a baby pork chop. A little bit off on the rhythm, but um, there you go. So this side of her is much looser. Alexandra, what have you noticed that to be true with her, or have you, since you've been thinking about it, have you noticed that? Is she on here? I can't tell. Boop. I can't remember if she got on. Oh, she's not on? Okay. So yeah, it was interesting to me. I found that super interesting. Like I definitely want to work that out. And so we have a plan for that. But it's honestly just, it's just loosening this up. That's all it is. Okay. So I thought that was awesome. And we had something similar with uh Adobe. I mean, is it similar or different? It's different, but it's as interesting, we'll say. Follow up with Dally was fantastic. I can't remember what I said to do, but yeah, we got a big pork chop out of, yeah, got a big pork chop out of, and no downward dog. Yeah, which is good because, yeah, watch this. It's good. Okay, that's nice. That's a nice leg there. So if you guys are having a problem with the pork chop, it's just because see how slow Stephanie's doing that? It's probably because see how slow she's doing it, and that makes the real big pork chop. Did everybody see that? Let me make it bigger. Hold on. Um, the pork chop takes a little bit of rhythm. Okay. Ugh. So above the knee, she's doing it at the knee, but I look at. So it has to be like it can't be a fast jiggle. That's too fast. This is like similar to when we do the spine stuff. It has to be a slow jiggle, like you're trying to get the leg to kind of flop. And their legs are very big, so you have to do it a little slower and bigger. Okay. So if you're having problems with the pork chop, put your hand above the knee and then do it only forward and back and slow the pace down a little bit. Oh yeah, this one was really interesting. So, Leanne, was this on the left side? I think it was.
Yes, it was you go toward the end. It was over there on that side.
Okay, so I'm going to describe it and then we'll see if we can find it. Let me make it bigger.
And then I did submit a follow-up video too.
Yeah, I saw it in there. So this was interesting. I haven't seen this before. Where so when he goes down and releases that scapula on this side, the scapula drops like it's supposed to. Okay. His I don't think really dropped too dramatically, but it went down nicely. Okay, look at that. There's a pork chop for you guys. Did you see how slow she was doing that, you guys? So that was a nice pork chop. See that big pork chop there? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, his didn't go down too dramatically because he wasn't stuck up here, so he kind of had it relaxed the whole time anyways. But this, when this is stuck and you come to the full range of motion forward, you will a lot of times see this go clunk. Okay, it'll drop down and you'll definitely feel it. Okay, so if your horse's foot is hovering like 2 inches above the ground and their leg is straight, it's literally just 2 inches from right here that goes clunk. Okay, so let's go to the other side and I'm going to tell you what happened on the other side. This side dropped, or it wouldn't be called dropped, released upward to drop the other side down, but the other side didn't drop down. I don't know how to describe that. So let's watch. Okay, there, he can't get it down. Yep. Oh, he almost sent her flying too. I was like, watch out, watch out. Okay, so this side is tight and stuck. So what he did, because he's a smart boy, and I've never seen a horse do this, is he actually allowed the other scapula to drop up, which dropped this side of his body down so that his foot could hit the ground. It's fascinating. Okay, so wait, I want that Oh, did you see the other side give? It wasn't this side that gave. It was the other scapula. Because this whole side of the horse's body dropped down instead of just, that's that whole side. So it was his other scapula that went up. Can people see that? Can you guys see that? It's interesting. So it's this side that still needs a little bit of work right up here. I don't know. I thought that was super interesting. Okay. So you guys can kind of go back and watch that if you want to. It was cool. Here's where I talk a little bit about how long is this video? Okay, it's short. There is a tendency, and I think this is where I'm gonna mute myself again here. There's a tendency to where if you're in a position where you're too far forward, you pull the leg forward, which can encourage them to sit back, which isn't good. And it can cause some insecurities because they don't trust you at that point. So I'll unmute myself and not forward. Okay? Because when you think forward, I want you to watch when it goes to her. So I'm gonna pull the leg forward instead of up. See if it does the thing. Oh yeah, do you guys see that? So and whether you're trying to see her side eye, but if you're too far away, okay, there's tension here just by me doing this. There's tension here on me. Okay? So if I have a horse's leg here, that's going to be even more tension. And then this is going to be going on. Okay? And them feeling with like their leg is stuck in that, it's going to make them change their body weight, go back on their haunches more and sit back. And that's not what we want, because that will lead to pulling back, or, that downward dog thing kind of that Mags was doing. That kind of makes me nervous, because that can turn into more stuff that you don't want. So what I want you to do is I want you to think up. Okay. So I'll stand like right here. Okay. And I'll stand here and ask for the leg. I'm going to stand right up in here. I'm going to go into my sumo stance right away, hit that leg, and I want to go up with it. See the difference? Up to 90 degrees, not forward. And that's going to change the weight. All right. And they're much more calm with that. Another thing is see how close I am to her? I want her leg here. Because if she strikes out, I'm all good. But if you're standing kind of cockeyed like that and they strike out, wham. Right in your shin, man. Okay? So I think that... Okay, so the other point about that I wanted to make is that sometimes I had talked to a couple people about this, and I didn't bring it up in this video. Sometimes, please go away. Please go away. Okay. I'll stand in front of them for doing the second one. I'll stand in front of them. And if I want the leg to go back, I'll actually put their knee on my knee, and then I step forward and their leg goes back. Okay, so some of you that were having a hard time bringing the leg back because the biceps were tight, sometimes I'll help them by, and I don't think I do it. Do I? No, I should have shown that. But you can stand facing back instead of facing forward, and just use your leg. I think Teresa did it. Somebody did it, where you use your leg to kind of push the knee back, and they do step down on that, but it's a nice step one for those horses that just kind of fight it more than anything. Oh, I was gonna bring up sometimes when there's a lot of tension, horses, I talked about striking out a couple times. They don't strike out because they're mad. They strike out because of the tension. It's just a reaction. Okay. So that's why I say strike out, because it's the movement that they're making. It's not because they're bad or mad or mean, or they're trying to tell you something and you're not listening. It's because their leg is tight, and their knee only does this action. It doesn't do this action, which is great, because if it did, we'd have a lot of problems. But it only does this action. So they can only either curl it, which you already have their leg up, so that's going to be a lot harder, or they straighten it out. So that's why I say that's important. Okay. Let's see. Back to business here. Ah, 6 o'clock, dude. That flew by. Flew. Let me see if there's any crazy ones I need to show real quick. This was quite good. Some of them are quite good. Oh, I do want to, yeah, this was the one I think I was talking about. Like, yeah, it was a pulley system. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I want to tell Beth that I want you guys to watch this video, because here is a typical situation where you feel like, is this even working? Like, what's going on? I think she called it a hot mess or something. And I want to tell you, she did everything for that horse that horse needed. Okay. And I think she said something about, I could have put him in cross ties. And I thought to myself, yeah, you probably could have, he was walking around a lot. But you know what? He's a nervous horse. I don't want him in cross ties. I want that horse to feel freedom to move. And it is messy. It's messy, and it doesn't look pretty, and it doesn't look like the state of relaxation that you want them to have, right? But that horse had a fantastic session. and he was moving and grooving around. But horse named Twig. This is about with him, this is about gaining confidence. And I would like to give a shout out. This, I believe, was her first time picking up a horse's leg. So, wow. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's a big accomplishment, man. I know horse people that are afraid to pick up legs. So, that's a big accomplishment. She did it on tape, and now we're talking about it. So, that's triple whammy. Um, but yeah, he was moving around a little bit because he's an unsure horse. And what she did is she set him up for success in the future. So that was a fantastic video, and I hope that you guys watch it because my favorite part about this is that she didn't get frustrated, and she might have felt a certain way leaving, like that wasn't the best session, but she didn't take it out on the horse, and I love that because she gave him, one, the ability to move his feet, and two, she stayed calm and happy, and that horse is better off because of her. Okay. So that's a big deal. So yeah, there were some fantastic videos this week, and you guys did really, really well. And luckily, there were a lot of great examples of things that I say can come up. So feel free to kind of look through those, and you can even Google or not Google, search old Journey Through the Horses and see other videos. So if you guys have problems with that, yeah, you bet, Beth. I'm glad you're here. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Those horses are lucky. I told Beth she's going to be the barn massage therapist. To just wait. I'm molding her into it. Okay. So yeah, fantastic work. But yeah, you can search anything on my Facebook page. Just go to the little magnifying glass thing and look at under there. Sometimes it's under the three dots, so you got to find it. But if you're struggling with any of the, kind of any of the sections in the clinic, what I want you to do is search up some old videos. I have so many videos, you guys. So your problem will probably be in there somewhere. And if you're having issues with anything in particular, I want you to message me and then I can give you more videos or do separate videos for you. And then also, I did announce if you guys want extra videos per week, I'm not going to put them out. But I will offer those to you. And I think I had a special up for like five extra videos or something like that for some amount. I'm not sure. Or there's one-on-one sessions available. I was kind of going to hold off till the end of it, but then I was thinking, if you want help on it now, you don't need to wait. Okay. So whatever you need, just let me know and I'll figure it out. There was a post where you asked for feedback on this course. Yeah, but would like to. Oh, awesome. Yeah, just shoot one off to me. That'd be amazing. I think I took it down because it was my mentor had asked for some testimonials, so I was just doing it quickly. But yeah, you can put that anywhere. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. I save all those, and then on a bad day when someone tells me that they hate my voice, I just go read them. Or, she's so annoying. I just go read those and then I remember, hey, some people love me, so it doesn't matter. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Okay. So this week will be nice. Week will be a good one, and keep it coming because you guys are kicking butt and taking names. All right? All right, that's it. Thank you. You're very welcome. Have a great week. Keep it up. Keep it up.